So the prices for gas in the US are going up quite a lot, and people are obviously complaining. I mean, this is not a situation that you wish for because you're directly affected. Everybody is, no matter your income level. From a European perspective, I have a slightly different view on the prices in the US because historically, European prices for fuel in general have been much higher than the ones in the US. But we will come back to that a little bit later. Let's first check out what's actually happening in the US and what kind of prices we are talking about.
Yes, good morning. We are continuing to see those prices go up. We're in Martinez. We were trying to find you the cheapest that we could show, which is $5.19. Of course, that's just if you pay cash here in Martinez. What's interesting though is across the street it's $5.57, and then just down the block it's $6.30. So it really depends where you go, but on average across the Bay Area we're seeing over $6 for a regular gallon of gas. Now, the conflict in Iran continues to drive up prices at the pump nationwide, as President Trump warned Iran again yesterday with a social media message laced with profanity, giving them until today to open the Strait of Hormuz, allowing vessels through the key waterway, threatening to strike its critical infrastructure if they do.
Okay, did she really just say Trump threatened Iran through tweets or social media laced with profanity? Anyway, not my problem. The prices. This is what we really want to talk about. And you see, the thing is, obviously for the US, these prices are really high. But this is per gallon. And in Europe, this would be the normal prices. These are the prices that we had before the attack on Iran. That's the thing. For us, these are the normal prices. Right now, however, after that attack, our prices are much higher. Let me show you something. This is from Germany. This is from 4 days ago. And these prices are in euro cents for whatever reason. It's 224 euro cents. It doesn't make any sense to me. But just imagine this is 2 euros and then some. Okay? So considering there is roughly 3.8 liters in a gallon, and there is about $1.16 per euro. If you translate that to the prices that you can see here, then we're talking about roughly $10 a gallon. Diesel, petrol, you can choose. Basically, it's not quite the same, but pretty much anyway. So yeah, this is what we're facing in the European Union. And, for us, it does make a lot more sense because there's a couple of things that play into the prices that we have in the European Union. You see, we were always a bit dependent on Russian oil and liquefied natural gases, okay? But since Russia attacked Ukraine, we kind of put sanctions on them to, hit them financially. And we stopped buying gas and oil from Russia, officially at least. I mean, if you look into it, there is ways around it and stuff. It's all kind of a bit weird. But generally, this was the idea. We don't buy Russian gas and oil anymore, and they will be financially negatively affected, and therefore they will get out of the war and stuff like that. This was the original idea. But of course, natural gas and oil being global goods, Russia was not struggling to find new customers in China and India. So therefore, what Europe was really hoping for never actually really happened overall. So this happened years ago already. Now, with Trump really doing his very best to completely dismantle the entire Western alliance, his attack on Iran, again, is pretty much the best thing he could do for Russia and the worst he could do for the Western alliance in general. Yeah, I said that out loud and I mean it because it's insane, okay? For us in Europe, it means we now face $10 per gallon, and it did not yet affect everything else, but it will. If this keeps going, it will affect everything else as well. It will hurt our economy even more. Russia, on the other hand, let me show you something. Okay, this is from the Council on Foreign Relations. So it's a controversial group, I know, but let's just read this one sentence. Russia has emerged as an early beneficiary of the US-Israeli war on Iran, aided by higher oil revenues, rising demand for other products it produces like fertilizers, and the prospect of air defense resources for Ukraine being diverted to the Middle East. So basically this is 3+ for Russia. It's almost as if Trump was working for Putin. And I know there is conspiracy theories about that. I'm not saying he is. I don't think he's smart enough to do something like that consciously. Coming back to the prices in the US, I don't fully understand it. I understand that oil is a global good for trade and therefore global prices tend to align somewhat. But in your own countries, whatever you produce in your own country, you have some power to adjust the prices to keep your own people and your economy somewhat stable. And let me show you a graph from last year when it comes to the US and oil imports and exports. And here you can see the difference. So in 2025, the US exported 35% more oil than it imported. So technically, it has its own oil and is not directly dependent on the global prices. If they wanted, they could adjust it for their own country. Yep, this seems to be very clear here. Either way, coming back to the war a little bit, just for a second, for me as a European, I think it sucks. There was no UN resolution. This war is illegal. If I remember correctly, less than a year ago, Trump said something like this.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace.
Completely and totally obliterated. Right, exactly. And that's why a few months later you have to attack them, because they are back just weeks away from having an intercontinental ballistic missile with a nuclear warhead capable of traveling, let me show you, half the world. This is Iran, okay? This is Iran. So, going through all of Europe, the Atlantic, reaching the US. Really, really. That's the kind of rockets they would have within weeks? Seriously? And then let's have a look from the other side. Yeah, this is the Pacific. There is a lot of Pacific there, like a lot. And then you have China and India and Afghanistan and back to Iran. How is Iran going to attack the US? Seriously. So the question really stands, what's going on and why are we in this war at all?
The Epstein files.
All right. I almost forgot about those. But this is a topic for another video. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope, despite of all the bad news, that you will still somehow find a way to laugh it all off, go out with your friends, have a drink or something, and I really hope you have a great day ahead. Thanks.